everyone, and welcome back to Newegg TV. We are closing our coverage of PAX East 2014 here from Boston, Massachusetts. I'm here with Steve. How you doing, Steve?
Hello, everybody. I'm very well. I'm excited. I mean, this is the last day. We got a chance to play some more games.
I'm excited. I played more games at PAX than I played at any previous PAX, which isn't saying much because I've never played any games at previous PAXs. But we wanted to talk about games because that's kind of the focus of what PAX is all about.
Absolutely.
So ton to talk about for today's video. If you guys are interested, in the description we'll have chapters for this, since it's going to be a longer video if you want to jump to something specific.
For sure.
Well, let's start off with one that I know a lot of people are really excited about, Star Citizen. We got to play the new dogfighting module over at the Logitech booth. And,
officially approved by Newegg TV.
Yes, we
it's
get
awesome.
thumbs up from both of us.
Yeah.
It's just, looking at the amount of polish the game already has is amazing. The ships already look amazing, and the dogfighting, actually doing the gameplay, I like where they're going with it, because the HUD and everything just has a really nice look. Steve was saying that the lock-on you do when you're like locking on for homing missiles just has
I love it. In fact, we were talking to a couple of the guys working on the game currently. The dev was telling me that he essentially was told over and over and over again, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 3, and it looks like that, man.
Straight
it's just
from Chris
the way,
Roberts.
Oh man, it's so cool. Yeah.
So it has that look.
Yeah.
And I mean, they've integrated things like as you're maneuvering around through space, G-forces are applied to the pilot, so you can't exactly just turn on a dime everywhere, and that's sort of a little bit of a level of.
Physically, you can.
Yeah.
Physically, you can. In fact, you can decouple it so that right now it's simulating flight through the air, so that people understand what they're doing when they go into fighting. But you can essentially decouple it. We didn't find that feature because I didn't ask about it. But I was talking to somebody else who was more well versed on it than I was. Said that you could decouple it, just spin it around like you could in an object in space, and then continue with the inertia that you were already traveling in that direction, and just shoot in any direction you want. You know? But
clearly there's going to be a lot to take into account as you're going through the dogfighting modes, but even just that little taste, because there's been no gameplay available yet for Star Citizen, but it was really, really fun to play.
Did you buy a ship?
I have not bought a ship yet.
Why haven't you bought a ship yet?
I will buy a ship now.
You can buy a $40 ship, but you don't actually get to use it in the beta until the game goes. Well, you don't get to use it in the beta. If you want beta access, you got to spend like I think 80.
Okay.
Yeah. But you should just do what Linus did.
I think Linus has dropped like a grand on that or something like
really?
that. I have no idea for sure.
Don't you bought like that $250 ship. I know
he's done a lot.
Constellation or something.
And Luke's
I think it's
done a lot too. We talked a little bit with Luke about that as well.
Yeah.
And Luke's going to be doing an interview with Chris over on Linus Tech Tips. So I'm sure you guys maybe you've already seen that, but if you haven't, check it out. And
one last thing I wanted to mention about it, we got to use the Hornet, and you guys are familiar with that. It's like almost the militarized version of a fighter, so short range, but perfect for dogfighting. And when the dogfighting module comes out, if you've already put in your dues and you're able to play, and you've helped kickstart the game in general, your pledge that can get you in, you'll be able to play as the Hornet as soon as the dogfighting module is available. The catch to that is that even if you bought something else, like I bought I forgot what it's called now off the top of my head. I forgot the name of the ship I have, but it's the one that's more like a BMW. Sort of reminds me of the commercial for it.
All right.
So then I won't get that yet. I'll get the Hornet right away, but as soon as my ship's available, I'll be able to fly with that as well, which will be really, really cool. Also, I really like the radar. The radar at the bottom is essentially a ring that's three-dimensional, so you can see it on an elliptical circle. And then you can see a dot above to the location of a ship, like a small ship, and then a couple dots below it as well. That's telling you if it's above the horizon of your ship or below the horizon of your ship. Got a couple fans here, they're very excited, saying hi. So that's very cool. And yes, of course, the G-forces that will cause blackout, but you can remove that if you just want to play without worrying about G-forces. Okay. Should I talk about the next game?
Sure, so that's a little bit on Star Citizen. Next up, Steve got a chance to play The Crew.
The Crew from Ubisoft. Very, very fun game. I only got to play it for a little bit of time. I was able to sneak in with our exhibitor badge and just jump in line for the very first game I thought was interesting. Saw Etta from Ubisoft also. She's one of the Fragdolls. Very cool. And Crystal as well. Hi, if you guys are watching. Aside from that, jumped into the game, played it. First impressions, let's see. A mix of Grand Theft Auto, and because it's a big open world, and I would say Need for Speed. So you get kind of the arcadey fun of Need for Speed, but then that open world feel of something like GTA. And the gameplay was fun. We got to do a co-op mission where we were both It was actually co-op versus, I should say. We were both aiming to kill or knock out another vehicle by damaging it. That was fun. And it's a standard race that we played solo. And so as we can play together, you have different teams in your crew, so to speak. And I guess you can play with each other. I don't know all my facts on the crew, so I apologize for that. But just having gotten the chance to play it, I was excited that I had that opportunity, and I enjoyed it. So
nice.
Looking forward to that as well.
Sounds like fun. Next up, I wanted to talk briefly about an announcement that was made here at PAX East. No gameplay right now, but Sid Meier's Civilization Beyond Earth was just announced here. So basically,
Very cool.
If you're a Civilization fan, and I know that's one of the games I've dropped a lot of time into.
Same here.
It's like Civilization in the future, like a couple hundred years.
Yeah.
And humanity is expanding to other planets, and so you take a group of people starting on a new planet, and there's a lot of information already out on this game, and I'm sure you guys maybe have already heard some of it, but our very own Nick from GameCrate was able to get some interviews with the developers, and he had a few tidbits of information to share with me that I wanted to share with you guys. Now, if you want to read Nick's full article, it's either up now or will be up very soon on GameCrate, gamecrate.newegg.com, so go ahead and check that out. But first off, I was asking him some of the things about it. There will be aliens in Civilization, and they will be models exactly after Kane, as you can see.
Here's
right
an example of one of the aliens,
which is
Kane.
absolutely perfect timing, Kane. Perfect.
I'm good. I'm very upset with this man.
Oh no, are you talking about the poisoning?
What? You gonna bring this up again?
Why did you do it?
You're gonna bring this up again?
Yes.
I thought we had already made this clear. All right, so
We challenge you to a duel.
there's a rumor going around that I poisoned Logan, but obviously that's not true because he's right here.
Look, just because he got better.
What?
You know something, Paul?
What?
This Sunday, I'm going to come up here on the stage and say that it's okay that you tried to poison me.
Oh. Well,
Because you cannot stop the Logan.
I can try, but apparently it only works for about a day or so.
Many have tried, Paul. Many have tried, and right here at PAX, everyone needs to know that Paul tried to poison Logan, and Logan is here on stage.
I'm afraid that I will have to try harder next time.
You
Perhaps
will.
I will use a stronger salad. Or iocane powder. No.
It's all right, Paul.
This is a truce? Are we making a truce
We're
now?
making a truce right here
Okay.
on Newegg TV
We'll work this
in
out.
front of all your 12 fans.
There's 13 now.
13? No,
There are. Yeah, we got another
I'm
subscriber.
unsubscribing.
Back to 12.
All right, enough messing around,
It's an
guys.
uphill battle. Well, anyway, this
we'll
is
leave you guys
Logan
to
from
it.
Tech Syndicate. If you guys don't watch Tech Syndicate, you should. They have lots of videos on how to make food.
Yeah, actually.
Delicious food.
We do. We actually make those videos right here at the PAX.
Yeah. Really? Did you
Yeah.
do another PAX food video?
Yeah, and then we get poisoned, and you know how it works.
Okay, well,
That happens.
it's best to prepare your own food if you want to prevent yourself from getting poisoned. That's the lesson I was trying to teach you.
Well learned. All right, we're off then.
Yes.
Paul is a teacher, ladies and
Fate is a
gentlemen.
harsh mistress.
Thank you, Tech Syndicate.
All right, so speaking of aliens, and back to Civilization.
Right.
So the aliens in Civilization, the planets you go to will have aliens on them.
Right.
And I was like, oh, so those will be kind of like the barbarians in Civilization 4 or 5. But not really, because the aliens will always be there. They'll be there throughout the duration of the period of time that you're playing the game, and they will always be relevant in some way.
Okay.
So there's different paths you can take in the game, and the aliens will have different interaction with you depending on how you treat them.
Nice.
Another thing that the developers are talking about is the challenge of designing a game based in the future and creating the very popular Civilization element of the Great Wonders, which, of course, here on Earth we have a history of that they can choose from. But if they're talking about creating great wonders in the future, they don't have
And
quite
in
as much to draw
space.
from.
Yeah.
In future and in space with advanced technology. So
Alien
I
worlds.
can't share any of the Great Wonders with you, but they said it was fun but challenging. So I'm curious to see what they will come up with. And then lastly, the game has a lot of influences since it's very more sci-fi than the more historical aspects of Civilization 4 or 5 that we already play. So the influences among them are Dune, Ender's Game, 2001: A Space Odyssey, and then Contact, both the book and the movie. And Contact is actually a victory condition. So
Oh,
it's one of
right,
the
I
parts
did hear
of the
about
game.
that.
Yes, so Contact as in the movie, which is obviously Contact. We'll see you later. Yes, just waving goodbye. So contact as in contact with the first alien species or sentient alien species that humans come into contact with. So there'll be clues scattered throughout the world that you go to, and then that's the victory condition is actually finding the aliens.
Very cool.
So pretty cool. So Civilization, I'm very much looking forward to.
All right. I'm going to move us
Earth.
forward. I know we did mainly games today, but we did also have an opportunity to go over to NVIDIA's booth. And I was actually quite surprised at what they had. They had a nice little tour, a lot to talk about, Paul. I mean, why don't you go ahead and summarize it for us?
Well, you know, what I was surprised at was their focus on Titan Z. I mean, that's all we heard about. Titan Z or Titan Z, to give the translation if you're watching from Canada. Really, that's all. They were like, hey, Titan Z, Titan Z, Titan Z. That was all I heard. So, I mean, that's cool and all, but I know they do other stuff besides that.
But Paul, no. I mean, just my list alone here, I have GeForce Experience 2.0. I have GameWorks, G-Sync, Shield. I mean, they did talk about Titan Z, but they wasn't all about that.
Oh, I guess sometimes I get a little hyper focused on certain things, but I did at least put in a good word to try to get one of them for Newegg TV. So hopefully, once they're coming out, hopefully, no promises, but hopefully we'll have one to share with you guys and give the benchmarks and all that good stuff.
That would be very, very cool.
And if fate smiles upon us, then perhaps two.
Yeah,
but let's not get
maybe
greedy.
Patty will hook it up on top of whatever we get from anybody else at NVIDIA wants to help us out.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So next up, I had a chance to play Wolfenstein: The New Order. One of the big AAA titles right inside the front door here.
And I know you're big on FPS, so I'm just curious what you thought about it.
I play some FPS. I'm probably not quite as up on it as you guys.
I'm totally kidding. I'm setting you up for
You're
that.
patronizing me, clearly. All right. But I did get a quick post intro to the game reaction, so why don't we roll tape and we'll share that with you guys.
Okay.
So I just got a chance to check out Wolfenstein: The New Order, which is a 3D shooter based in the Wolfenstein universe, although it is sort of a futuristic take on that. You start out in sort of an open field, and there's a massive mech walking in front of you that definitely looks pretty cool. Apart from that, it struck me as pretty much a standard FPS shooter. You're going to pick up armor and weapons along the way. I found the first level to be a little bit convoluted, actually. I had a difficult time finding my way around or figuring out exactly what objective I was trying to get to, so that was a little bit confusing. Had a brief moment of excitement when I was attacked by a robot dog. Apart from that, it seemed like a pretty standard FPS, but it's coming out soon, and we're playing on PlayStation 4 as well, so I guess that might have also tempered my response to it a bit because I'm used to playing FPSs on a PC with a mouse and a keyboard. But either way, check it out, guys. Wolfenstein: The New Order. So as you can see, I was maybe a little bit on the fence about the new Wolfenstein, but I know it's a very popular series, so if you're into that aesthetic and that genre, I'm sure there's going to be a lot there, a lot of new stuff for folks, as well as the demo that I played. But I know, Steve, you have a very exciting game that you played that you want to talk about next.
I have a lot to talk about. It's basically a game called Gray Goo, and essentially
it's not my brain.
That's gray matter. But yes, depending on how much you've had to drink, it could become Gray Goo. And it's actually relating itself to RTS. I don't know how much you're into RTS. I know you like some.
I do enjoy RTSs.
Okay.
I haven't played a wide variety of them, but it is a genre that
Do you remember the old school Command & Conquer?
Yes.
Were you a fan?
Yes.
Then you will be a fan of this game as
well.
Basically, the guys that are from Petroglyph also took a lot of the same guys from Westwood Studios, is my understanding. We had a real quick chat with Mike Legg, the co-founder and president of Petroglyph. Awesome guy, by the way. He's a huge Newegg fan, actually.
Nice.
He was in his family, the entire office, and I know that sounds like really helpful for me to say that on camera, but the guy was really cool. I really enjoyed him. Also bumped into Logan, and they were like, "You're gonna be in our video." I was like, "Okay, what do you want me to do?" And like, talk about the game. I was like, "Dude, I played it for like 5 minutes."
We should try to get them in our video.
We really should. That's a good
That'd
idea.
Be cool. We'll talk to them.
We'll figure this out. We'll fix it in post.
Okay.
That's what we'll do. We'll fix it in post.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. So one just matter of factly speaking, they said, you know, LAN parties. Everybody likes to have a LAN party, right? Everybody wants to have a little fun with some friends, or maybe, you know, out and about somewhere like PAX, and you know, you're back up to your hotel. You want to play a quick game. Well, a lot of games nowadays require you to have an internet connection in order to play co-op on LAN. Not them. And they made it a specific point to do that. They wanted to make sure if you were at a LAN party or anything else, that you'd have that opportunity to play with your friends.
No centralized servers.
Yeah, and if you want to have a bigger 30-man LAN that maybe you and your friends are throwing, you don't have to worry about paying for the internet connection. It'll be required to do that with some other games.
Very nice.
So that was really cool. But essentially, They're trying to make a new IP. It's very relatable to Command & Conquer, very high-level RTS. You don't have to worry about micromanaging every single part of it. One quick example of that would be if I did an upgrade to one of my technologies, you would be able to take that technology and it would automatically upgrade every other unit you've already made. So, if you get stealth, everything has stealth.
Cool.
For example, 3 unique factions. You're looking at humans, the goo, which is essentially nanites that have become sentient, and like kind of it's bonkers, man.
Sentient nanites?
Sentient nanites. They kind of
They
globule
stole
together.
my idea.
They're actually there's a lot of cool things they do, but they haven't released a lot about that yet.
Okay.
I know that there's a couple of articles out there. GameCrate will have one as well. Nick was there. We had a great talk with him. But other than that, so humans, nanites, aka goo, as well as the betas. And they're literally called betas. That's the name of the other alien species.
Oh.
So the Grey Goo nanotechnology is basically really weird. I'm quoting him here. It's programmatically created through algorithms, the way they look, the way they interact with the environment. So it's changing, constantly morphing depending on where it is, what it's doing, how it's interacting with things. And it eats everything, and it goes over any terrain. Let's see if I can go more of this. Basic storyline. Humans go out and try and search for life elsewhere. They find 9 different worlds that actually have like plant life and maybe animals, but nothing intelligent.
Okay.
And then they come back. They leave like beacons in different areas of the universe, and then one of those beacons activates, and they realize another alien species, the betas, had started to colonize the planet that they had originally found.
Oh, I see.
So then basically they find us after we find one of the planets. They said that they really want to try and work with the community and get contributions from the community for the game.
Okay.
They also told me that they were going to be doing something they were going to be releasing on Steam, as well as having early access. So immediately I thought, oh, maybe they're going to do something with Workshop then, right? Because that's an opportunity for us to contribute to the game.
Yeah.
He instantly froze and said, I can't confirm or deny anything about that.
I see.
So you know what that means? In my mind, that means there is something that's going to happen, and they cannot talk about it right now. But he did say, stay tuned. There'll be more news about that. So I was very, very happy to hear that. So yeah, that's Grey Goo. I really had a good time with that. I'm looking forward to it. If you like RTS games like Command & Conquer, the old school one, you're going to like this one.
Cool. And speaking of real-time strategy games, the next game I have to talk about is Planetary Annihilation.
Cool.
Now, if you guys are familiar with this game, it's been in development for quite some time, but it is a massive scale RTS game. You can play on multiple planets, can be involved in a single game, and you can have massive numbers of units. There's a ground-based game that's on the planets themselves. There's also an orbital game, and the items that are in orbit around the planets. And then there's also combat and transport between planets. So it's really cool. I had a chance to speak with John Combs, who is the design director. So why don't we go ahead and go over to me talking to John. Hey guys, I'm over here at the Planetary Annihilation booth. I'm talking with John Combs. How's it going, John?
It's going very well.
Fantastic. So I just got a brief play demonstration of Planetary Annihilation, but let's start from the basics. RTS game, and we're talking about an RTS game that expands over multiple planets.
Right.
So what are the design elements you guys have integrated into this game that you're really proud of?
So the really big things that we wanted to pull off were, because we're called it Planetary Annihilation, you need to be able to annihilate a planet.
That makes sense.
So we can actually, in the game, you can actually strap engines onto an asteroid and smash it into another planet, destroying everything around it.
So is that kind of like the peak achievement in the game?
That is one of the ways of ending the game.
How do you defend against an asteroid coming at your planet?
You don't let them get there and do that.
Okay, so you got to prevent them
Yes,
from doing that. All right.
The game can be very, very big. You can have up to as many planets as you want.
Okay.
We have a lot of, there's units that are on the ground, there's units in the air, there's units that in orbit, then going between planets. We have orbital death lasers, we have interplanetary nukes, we have big asteroids colliding.
Nice.
It's a very big game. You might have heard of it. We had a successful Kickstarter back in 2002, one of the biggest gaming ones ever, which is what kickstarted our whole effort here. The fans have really responded to it. Since then, we've built a lot onto the game. It's been available on early access on Steam for nearly a year now,
Okay.
as we push out iteration after iteration. we're very, very tight knit with our fans. We talk to them a lot. They provide a lot of feedback.
Okay.
So yeah, and we built this from scratch, the engine from scratch, just to be able to do the Planet stuff.
So brand new game engine, and just going back to the scalability, the expandability. There's no unit limit necessarily.
There is not.
It's going to come down
the
more
only
to
limit is your machine.
The power of the PC they might be playing on. So
Yes,
it's really
we've already had games where we've had over 10,000 units running around, and we're not done. We're not done with the game, so we're.
So it seems like you need, like when you talk about system specs for a game, it's like, what are your system specs you need? Well, it depends on how big of a game you want to play.
Exactly.
Really cool.
You can play a game on a small planet, which runs 15, 20 minutes, and it'll run on most machines with no problem. I've run it on a Microsoft Surface. Or you can go, if you have a really monster rig, you can go a system that has 3 big planets with 5 asteroids, a game that lasts 3-4 hours, and that takes a little bit more horsepower, but it can still be done.
There's lots of different kinds of games you can play, whether you want a shorter game, kind of get over with quickly, or you want a more epic scale battle. Lots of options there. So it's a quick look at Planetary Annihilation for you guys. And John, thank you so much for talking to us today.
All right, Paul, thank you very much for that.
No problem.
Now, the next game I want to talk to you guys about is Evolve. Now, if you're familiar with Evolve, just bear with me for a second. Essentially, gameplay is, and this is what was told to me before I started to play it, and actually it sort of ruined it for me to hear this. Essentially, it's like Left 4 Dead related to, it's a 4v1 where you have a fight against a tank. That's why been explained. I don't like that explanation at all, actually. I feel like, yes, in terms of 4 people versus 1, that is the gameplay that's happening. In terms of 1 person being the tank, a super powerful person, in this case is the Goliath. Okay. That's true. But Evolve, and the fact that you have 4 classes, 4 different unique classes. So you've got, I believe it's the Assault, Support, going completely off memory and it's been 2 days. Let's see, Medic, and the Trapper, because Paul had it, I remember. Thank you, Paul.
Clutch
yes,
right there.
Absolutely, that was, those 4 are very distinct, but I did have a chance to play as the Medic, which was awesome. I have the badge here to prove it. But yeah, let's go ahead and cut to my footage real quick to show you guys exactly what I thought initially. We'll come back and figure out what Paul thought about it.
All right.
So I just got a chance to play Evolve with Nick, and it was amazing. Some of the things that stand out to me, I got to play the Medic, which was awesome. And essentially, Medic for me was, you get a sniper rifle, you also get to heal people, you have a couple other healing abilities, you get the ability to cloak. It's a great support class, although there is a support class. I think there's Trapper as well, and the Assault was the other class. So 4 different classes you can play as in Evolve. Then you also have the giant monster, which I will call the tank, but it's really called something else. What was it called again? The Goliath. Thank you very much. It was called the Goliath, and it was awesome. Wow, so many things are coming through my head right now about how I played it. I sucked. I used a 360 controller because that's all they had. Keyboard and mouse, maybe I would have been a little bit better, who knows. But yeah, aside from that, being able to play the game was awesome. The graphics were beautiful, very fast paced. They're looking to make the games between like 10 and 14 minutes long, or 11 to 12, something like that I remember vaguely. But the bottom line is, they want these games to be fast-paced and fun, and there's a couple different win states, and depending on the different maps you play, they would be different. So that's really cool for replayability. You don't get really bored of the same map because you just go to a different one, and it's totally different, essentially, with different monsters. But aside from that, the game was really, really fun. I definitely suggest you guys all check that out as well. So Evolve, check it out.
So thank you for that report, Steve. And as you mentioned, I also had a chance to play Evolve, and this was one of the games I had the most fun playing.
Really?
The booth was set up really well. I felt like they had a great way of setting you up to play the game. We actually played against Mr. Lamb as well. He was the Goliath.
Really? Oh, of course he was. That's the best one to beat.
Our team of 4 managed to beat him just barely, but it was a really intense match.
We lost. So.
Came down to the wire, and yeah, it was just a really fun game. I like all the different classes. And then you were saying earlier, they actually are going to be doing different characters of each class that will have different weapons. So
that's
even just
so cool.
what we saw today, they're going to be expanding that and introducing more interactivity between the different, I'm sure there's going to be different types of gameplay to allow people to counter different strategies. That's the word I was looking for. Different strategies that they're using.
Keep working it out. You'll get there.
I just had to keep talking until I said the right word. But a really, really fun game coming out in the fall, I believe.
Okay.
And definitely from 2K Games and Turtle.
That's okay.
Turtle Games.
Yes.
2K and Turtle.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for sticking with us through this entire PAX East 2014. It's been a super blast. I've been extremely extremely happy, and I feel very lucky to have worked with this man on this
I'm also
project.
happy.
Yes.
Thank you,
We got to
Steve.
play video games.
Well, thanks you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this. And I want to say one last thing. So many of you who were here at PAX came up and said hello to me. Thank you all so much. It made the difference to me this weekend. It really gave me the motivation to keep working and do everything we're doing. So thanks to all you guys who have come up and said hello. And that's all for this video, though. We'll see you all
I also want to
next-
say thank you too.
Steve doesn't care, though. He doesn't care about any of those people. All right. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.
Take care.